Nearly 10,000 children in the United States have kidney failure, turning lives upside down for families who are waiting on a transplant. Savannah Levins introduces us to a local mother who is living that reality, struggling to find resources to keep their family afloat.
What do y'all want for dinner tonight?
For the past year, this hotel room in Griffin has been home for Ebon Sledge.
I know Jador has hers.
And her 8 kids.
There's certain things you just don't plan for. You plan for everybody to be healthy, doing well, that this is how life is going to go, and then boom, the unexpected happens.
The unexpected came in 2020 when 11-year-old Jador was diagnosed with kidney failure. She had to have both removed.
We started doing the dialysis 3 days a week. Jador.
3 days a week.
Are you feeling better?
They drive over an hour to Tucker for the treatments.
Welcome to the show, A Vision Media broadcast right now. We're here speaking with Ebon. Ebon. She has a daughter. Her name is Jador. Jador, right now she's going through kidney failure, and now she's on dialysis. And this story is about Ebon speaking of how things is so hard for them right now because of what her daughter's going through. And it happened in 2020, correct?
Correct, that's when she first got on dialysis.
She first got on dialysis in 2020. All of the ups and downs that she went through dealing with this. And being evicted, also being evicted from her home, and just a lot going on. Can you, let's go back to just brief, just tell the viewers exactly, just elaborate on what happened in between that time.
Okay, so real quickly, I kind of always knew Jador's whole life she was sick, something was wrong with her, but we just didn't know what, and we never found out why. Yeah. All of a sudden in 2020, November 2020, she felt real sick and happened to have a seizure. Rushed her off to the local hospital. They did all the blood work, blood count, platelet was low, calcium was too low. Basically anything that was supposed to be high was too low. Anything that was supposed to be low was too high. They immediately called Children's Health Care. They came and transported us to Scottish Rite. And from there we ran more blood work and found out her kidneys were failing and immediately started dialysis. After that weekend, we found out she was going to need a transplant. They did a biopsy. All they pulled was scar tissue, so they pretty much knew the kidneys were dead from that point.
Wow, when you mentioned like losing, you know, everything was like unbalanced. Like, you know, the potassium, all her levels was like dropping.
Right.
That's the same exact thing that happened to me when my kidneys fell back in 2017. So also with Jador, she's young going through that. And I know that when that happened, how hard was that on you knowing that this was going on with her?
So at the time, Jador was only 7, and mine is November, and I'm due to have baby number 8 in April. So we go into the hospital, we end up being there for 3 weeks. She was on a ventilator for 2 of those 3 weeks. And it was rough trying to get her to understand her diet was gonna have to change at 7. How do you tell a kid they no longer can have some of their favorite things? Trying to do the dialysis appointment. I'm 7 months pregnant, taking her an hour and a half away and driving, and it was rough at first. There was a lot of times I think I cried more than, no one ever see me, but I think I cried and did a lot of questioning of God at the time. That it was happening. Like, why her? She's the sweetest little thing. Why her?
Because it was hard to understand. And let's go back to right now. You could let the viewers know we're in Griffin, Georgia right now.
Correct.
Griffin. And where were you? Right now you're in the motel because of the complications or difficulties of getting evicted from the last. Where were you at last before coming here?
So I was, we've been in Griffin since 2020. At the time when she got sick, we did have a home, had a nice little home. Like I said, about to have baby number 8. I stopped working because, of course, around that time, it's the end of pandemic, things are still good. I stopped working knowing that it was going to be difficult to balance a newborn and traveling with her. We did okay probably about the first year, but of course things started piling on top of, things started piling up to the point where we did get behind on rent and we had to go. So we stayed in a couple of hotels before we came here because the number of kids that I had, they were either noisy or people, you know, people don't like that many kids in there. So we've been in this particular one for about a year now.
Were you getting any government assistance? Because I know you have 8 children right now. And what are the ages of your children?
They are, so the boys are 16 and 2. They're the oldest and the youngest. And then there's 6 girls in between. They're 13, 10, 9, 8, 6, and 4.
You can keep up with all that?
I lose track. I always forget one somewhere along the line. But yeah, the only thing that we receive, I do get child care assistance for the ones in school.
Yes.
And we get food stamps. Outside of that, I've never been a person that really wanted a handout. So before all of this happened, I never really applied for housing or anything. I did pretty much everything on my own. Now recently, yes, I have been applying for housing, haven't gotten approved for anywhere. Because a lot of them don't hold the size bedroom houses that we need. Or once people are there, they're there. But even now, I'm not looking for a handout, but rather a hand up.
You know, you actually did it on your own. You're trying to keep doing it on your own.
I am.
Independently. Now, are there any family members involved trying to help you with this, or any father involved?
So, I would say I'm mostly independent. And I have a lot of pride. So it takes a lot for me to even ask for any type of help. I do have family that lives here in Georgia. I know people keep asking about the dad. Majority of the kids do have the same father. It's just that most people, I've always been so independent. I'm a Leo. I've always been so independent and prideful. I think people forget to ask me if I need help because they feel like I'm doing it okay. Most people don't think to go ahead and offer the help.
Because they think you're doing okay.
Right.
And we're going to go back to Jador. She needs a kidney transplant. And she's 11 years old right now. Have anyone reached out to you from the side of the family that would say, look, I will donate this kidney? Or do you have like a GoFundMe?
No one from family has reached out as of yet. At one point in time, we did start, because you have to remember, with me, I couldn't donate until the baby was a year. So the baby's only 2. And then my health isn't the best. No one from the family has really reached out, but there's high blood pressure on that side of the family anyway. Most people don't realize you gotta be healthy.
Sure, before you get a kidney transplant, you have a long list of questions. You have to be perfect, basically. And that's one of the difficult things. So thank God, like lately people have been reaching out about becoming a donor. A lot of people don't realize, even if you don't feel like you're her blood type, there's so many different ways to, I don't want to say get around it, but I won't go into detail, but you probably know about all like the exchange program and things. So just apply to be a donor. I do have a GoFundMe page. If you look up Family of 9, it's the only one that I have. So I don't know if people are going to try to, put up other ones, but I only have one. It's called Family of 9. Right. You got to make it known. There's only one GoFundMe page. So don't try to, duplicate, Duplicate, there's only one.
So that's the Family of 9, and that's pretty much it.
Well, what I find most important about all of this is that she's a child. She's 11 years of age.
10, sorry.
But she's 10. And I just received a kidney transplant back in 2022, last year. And it was hard. I waited 5 years. What were some of the symptoms that you saw in her in the beginning of this happening?
So from the time Jador was about 2, I started noticing she was throwing up. It would happen like once a month. I didn't think of it because Jador is the 3rd child out of 8. So at that time we had like 5 or 6 kids. So I'm like, oh, maybe she's getting something from daycare. Maybe it's stomach flu. She would only throw up like one day and then be all right. One thing that I do look back and realize that Jador always was more tired than the other kids. Like they'll be running around. I'll say, Jador, what's wrong? Oh, I'm just tired. But when you have 7 kids running around, you don't really care about one being tired. As she got older, she started throwing up more. So in 2020, like I said, I did take her to the doctor because now we were at her throwing up once a week. And I'm like, this is not normal. By the time I started documenting what she was eating, we were probably up to twice a week of her just having a whole day where she would throw up. So come to find out, your kidneys is responsible for filtering the blood and pretty much getting rid of all your waste. Because her kidneys were not working, basically her body was building up waste, and the only way to get rid of it was by throwing up. So one kidney, when they did an ultrasound, one kidney was too small, was about half the size it should have been. So they just figured that kidney stopped working about 2 or 3 when I noticed it. The other kidney, we were still hopeful because through ultrasound it looked normal. But like I said, when they did the biopsy, it was nothing but scar tissue.
So you said one kidney was a half the size?
It was half the size it was supposed to be. So they say your kidneys is about your fist. So you think she's 7 at the time. So I think they said that kidney was like 3 or 4 centimeters, I think. It was something really small. And so they were like, that probably was just nothing but scar tissue. That kidney probably hadn't worked in a while. And of course, you can live on one kidney. So they feel like her one kidney that she did have left probably overcompensated and pretty much killed itself.
It was too much. It was working too much. That one kidney. So both kidneys are out. Well, both kidneys failed.
Both kidneys failed, and actually, as in November of last year, we did do a nephrectomy.
Okay.
So, which is a kidney removal, which is strange because most of the time they don't remove kidneys, but she does not have any kidneys at all right now.
Now, dialysis, what it does is it cleans the waste out of your body. You can't urinate forever until you get the kidney. So dialysis runs through your body, cleans the blood. When she comes home, I know she's like exhausted, right?
Not as much. So the cool thing is, I don't know how long you had your kidney failure, but the machines are they're gentler for a pediatric, so they don't even like
it's different.
Yeah, so that's why she goes to a special a pediatric clinic. They run different machines, even if they're so different that if we had a state of emergency where everything was shut down and she couldn't get to the dialysis, the older kids could probably go to an adult facility. She would have to go straight to the hospital. Because she's so small. So they run a machine, they try to make sure there are no cramping, and usually she sleeps. She has a little sleep mask. She sleeps the whole time she's there, the whole 3-4 hours she's on the machine. She might sleep on the way home, and by the time she gets here, you ain't even told, you can't even tell she was at dialysis. But it is, from what I understand, more gentler machines.
My needles went straight through. My needles went through hair, 2 of them. All through my body, so it was different. Hers is nothing like this.
No, on kids, they always put them on their chest because their arms are too small.
They're too small for that.
To do it.
Yeah, and I just want to, just about getting a kidney transplant for a child. I believe it should be a rush thing.
They so they are at the top of the list. So the problem is just getting kidneys, just having the kidneys available. But I think right now, we get an updated wait list. I think it's running about 1.5 years, the average time that a pediatric is on the donor list. So they are top of the list above adults.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's like at a wait of 1.5 years, but they are first up.
Well, viewers, we have a GoFundMe. Can you give them information about the GoFundMe page? That way they may want to, contribute something to that. You know what?
I don't know the whole link. This is what it's called.
Well, you can give me your name, right? And give them your social media, then that way.
Yeah, you should. So follow me on all social medias. Facebook is Ebon Sledge. Actually, if you look up Ebon Sledge on anything, it's going to come up all my Snapchats, Instagrams, because trust me, people have been finding me.
That's right.
Snapchat,
that's
Instagram, TikTok. Like I said, the GoFundMe title is Family of 9. I think if you put that in, it does pull up the page to me. You'll see a picture of Jadora on there with her money, her crown. It was her birthday picture, so she had a crown and her money pinned on her.
Wow, her name is Jadora. Jadora is going through kidney failure at this time. She's waiting on the list for a kidney transplant. Ebon gave you the information for the GoFundMe page or just for her social media page where you can find that information. And we thank you so much, Ebon, and I'm going to keep her in prayers, keep your family in prayers, and hope that she will receive a kidney fast.
Thank you so much.
This is A Vision Media Broadcast. We thank you so much, viewers. Peace out.